Today, we pause to honor the bravery and sacrifice of our armed forces on Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Across the nation, citizens remember the men and women who gave their lives in service, defending our peace, security, and freedom. Ceremonies and moments of silence mark the day, reflecting on the courage, dedication, and selflessness of our fallen heroes. Their legacy inspires the living and reminds us of the true cost of protecting our nation. As we remember them, we reaffirm our commitment to support those who continue to serve and to uphold the values they fought to defend. Now let's discuss further. We're joined in the studio today by Major General John Enenche, retired Pioneer Director, Defense Media Operations at the Defense Headquarters and former Commandant of the Army War College. General Enenche, welcome to Daybreak. Tell us, what is the significance of Armed Forces Remembrance Day for the Nigerian nation, especially in the context of current security challenges?
Good morning, viewers. It is very, very significant and impactful on service personnel and by extension to Nigerians, in the sense that, like you put it rightly, in the situation we have found ourselves, when we celebrate and remember our fallen heroes, is a lot of encouragement and morale booster to those who are still serving, those who are in the front lines, those who are in the various theaters of operation. Very, very important in the sense that we have a lot of dependence of fallen heroes in the society, particularly in the barracks. Some of them psychologically discouraged, but when they see that their loved ones who have passed, who have fallen, who have paid the supreme sacrifice, are being recognized, being celebrated, being remembered. Of course, you know that at times like this, mostly the services, they go out to reach out, conduct outreaches by way of ministering to them in various ways. So it's very, very significant for us, and very, very significant and important an occasion or a celebration for the armed forces and for Nigerians at large.
Okay, now looking at this Armed Forces Remembrance Day, it brings a capture on the reality of the typical gallantry of a soldier's life and the untold stories of the families, the dependents that lost their breadwinners to untimely death. So do you think the government is showing enough appreciation, enough welfare to the plight of families of fallen heroes?
For me, I think for me, if you say government, which particular aspect of the government?
I'm talking of the federal government.
If you say the federal government, I stand to say that from my experiences and from what I have seen over the years, the answer is no. If you talk about the services, Ministry of Defense, particular services, the Army, Navy, and the Air Force, yes. But I will agree and I will suggest, and I will at this point use this opportunity to request and recommend that let it be an all-inclusive support and encouragement. Why am I saying so? I am saying so because look at it. The people who are in service, they are keeping quiet, highly discouraged. Because when you see what happens to those who are out, those who are falling, because in the army they will tell you it could be you, it could be anybody. Even this general sitting down that sat for about 35 years before leaving, it could have been him. So those who are there now, they'll be thinking quietly. So, but if it is an all-inclusive thing by the federal government, like you say, particularly, what the services are doing, I commend them, they are doing so much, but they cannot do all in the area of welfare. For instance, when you look at the what we call for those who are out now, the pension. The pension, I can tell you, it has gone back to as per zero when before you left the service. Zero. What am I? They added 30,000 naira to my pension every month. That's 1,000 naira per day, and everything skyrocketed, went by more than 100%. So how do you make that? Is it the army that will do that? The answer is no. Is it the navy? No. Is it the air force? No. Who will do it? Federal government. In the same way, it goes down. When they are doing this support, I've hardly one day seen the federal government coming out and say, you will see Nigerian Army Officers Welfare Association coming out, Navy, Air Force coming out, Defense, the poor and all that. Where is the presence of the federal government? So the answer is no. I stand to, people can say anything, but I'm talking from experience of 32 solid years and now 40 years. Thank you.
All right. So Nigeria experienced military rule for approximately 30 years. And now we're in a democracy. In what ways do you think the legacy of military rule, such as centralized power, weak accountability, and a culture of fear, in what ways do you think they affect governance today, and what can we do to really step away from that?
Yes, during the military rule, I can tell you that it is completely a deviation from what was then and as it is now. And the excuses that the military used to take over power, they are not the same. They are not playing out now. So there is no way I can, or someone should say, look, let us now translate what happens during the military to the present dispensation. Was there campaign during the military? The answer is no. Do you go to woo people? Do you go to talk to them to vote for you? No. It's just that you look for excuses, bad governance, corruption, blah, 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 and all that, and you now take over power. Is it so? Now the answer is no. So we cannot...
But there was a system that was entrenched due to military rule, and that is affecting our democracy.
And that is why they have been talking about what? Constitutional review. Is it the military that will come and review the constitution? The answer is no. So it is we now, the Nigerian people, that will do that to ensure that they now put a system that is all-inclusive, the system that is welcoming, the system that is conducive, the system that all people, we now talk about the various nations in Nigeria, the various groups, geopoliticals, and that will now say, look, this is workable for us. So that is the way I see it, because they have been talking about the 1914 amalgamation and all that. Is not, it does not recognize the various cultures and how we can stay together. That is the job of the civilians now, or all of us. I mean, some of us who are half military because you are still you are still passive in service, but you are not active again and you are not a civilian. So everybody should come together and then fashion out, and then jettison, if everybody wants, what we inherited or what the military put in place as per 1999 Constitution, and among others. That is my own. That is the way I see it.
Now, General Enenche, tell us, how well do you think the contributions and the sacrifices of our soldiers are understood by the Nigerian people, particularly the youth?
Particularly?
The youth.
The youth. You see, the youth need to be educated. They need to be sensitized. They need to be aware. They are not aware. There was a time we were doing a program showcasing the activities of the military in the theaters. So if we don't sensitize them, and that is why, more importantly, the involvement of the federal government comes in. We have National Orientation Agency. Such a program that they should now let them know that, look, these people you are seeing, this group of people, the armed forces, the military particularly, they are doing a lot. Look at it now. Some people complain. I used to hear that militaries just remove soldiers from there, remove the military. If you remove them, these bastards out there, they will take over the whole place. Those are the kind of ways to now push it through media campaign, strategic communication, letting them know. A 20-year-old child now does not know what happened in the last 30 years. They are just internet. Once they go, one sentence, they see something, and that is it. Let us let them history by way of propagating it, by way of promoting it. It will not be too much for the government to invest in media enlightenment, media engagement with the youth. Thank you.
Okay, now still on the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, I'm still deeply concerned about the plight of the families and loved ones of the fallen heroes. Is there a situation, is there a system where the National Assembly recognizes the package for departed soldiers for their families, to give them a sense of livelihood in terms of the standard of education, the feeding allowance, accommodation, and many of these humanitarian welfare packages. Is there something like that?
Yes, in the military, narrowly, yes, I know there is something like that. There is something in the army, particularly that I served before retirement fully, such that a particular number of the children of a departed, a fallen hero will be sponsored and catered for. They pay their fees and all that. Such programs are there. But beyond that, to talk about accommodation, yes, like I know particularly they try to give them preference for this post-service housing, But when you come to that, what about the money involved? Is it possible for the army in this budget, in her budget, to accommodate all that? That is where the National Assembly, I would say, suggest that they should come in and then make a law, something, a legislation that it will be taken over, or there will be federal government participation. Because, of course, now it is even worse that whatever the army was giving them, I don't know whether they factored it into their budget for this year, but they skyrocketed rates, the skyrocketed prices and whatever is a challenge. Even whatever they were giving them, if you give them now, it may not be able to meet up with the need or the requirement.
Okay, from your experience, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing the Nigerian army today? And also, we have reports that soldiers on the war front are being denied their allowances due to maybe mismanagement of army budget and things not done properly. And what are the implications of that for professionalism in the army?
For me, let me start from the second to the last one. It's like a hype when they say we have not paid our allowances or whatever. It might just be a delay in getting funds to the front lines or to the theaters. It might just be.
Delay is a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, the delay, okay, the other day something happened. Somebody was to send money and all that and say, I couldn't send the money. I said, what is the problem? They say network problem. So such are delays that could have taken place, but I can confidently tell you that officially from the office of the Chief of the Army Staff, Chief of Accounts and Budgets and Administration, whatever, there's nothing like it is priority to send their monies to them. And of course, somebody who is under pressure and tension in a theater, we will not be comfortable. If he is expecting his allowance or whatever today and you don't give it to him or her today, it becomes what? A concern. Now, what is the greatest challenge of the army? For me, it is still the issue of logistics. And I'm happy that the Chief of Army Staff, now logistics and what? Manpower and equipment. All those ones are still things that cannot be done in a hurry. It has been there for a long time. So the greatest challenge is to build the capacity of the army to what it's supposed to be, to take head on our security challenges.
Now, currently, there is a strong push from civil society concerning Armed Forces Remembrance Day. They are pushing that this should actually be made into a public holiday. Do you think that this is necessary? Why or why not?
Very, very necessary. Because it's just like celebrating something that impacts so much on your life. Let me now look at the religious perspective. Look at us Christians now. When you say Christmas or Easter is celebrated because it has direct impact on our life. Talk about my Muslim brothers. If you talk about Salah, it is public holiday, celebrated. So this one now that we are seeing it practically, men are dying every day. There's no particular, maybe because we don't get the situation report, that somebody is not, one way or the other, passing in the course of defending this nation. It should be, I support it totally. It will boost our morale, boost the morale of those who are still serving. For instance, I know some females, when they say, I want to join the military, I say, you, as tiny as well, I say, are you sure you should be able to withstand the shock or the stress, the pains of, you say, no, sir, I will. Is it not human beings that are dying? So once we do that, it will encourage those who are serving. It is worthwhile to make it a national day celebration whereby there will be public holidays, and in that way it will make the private sector to key into what they are supposed to be doing in other crimes in the world. Thank you.
Okay, let's look at the rules of engagement in handling terrorists and bandits elements in the country. Recently, the chief of defense, the Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, said that a friend of a terrorist is also a terrorist, and that resonates the past way we've been handling some of these terrorist elements in the country, like negotiating with them and also a process of de-radicalizing them. Isn't it time we changed the rules of engagement in having a firmer stance on even the sympathizers and the institutions that have shown sympathy or that are complicit in the process of these negotiations? Isn't it time the country takes a firm stance against them?
I don't see any firmer step we will take more than the President Commander-in-Chief has declared the state of what? Emergency. And under that, they came up with about 31 various categories of people that are all equally terrorists now. So what are we waiting for? So I would say that it's just like an indirect instruction or direct instruction that the Minister of Defense is giving.
Yeah, because the minister
so
mentioned
it has to be so.
Sheikh Gumi, and that becomes more engaging when you look at such names coming up in that kind of narration.
So if you are so bold to, I believe definitely all the people that you are talking about, they are well educated. They went to primary school, secondary school, university, medical school. So they know what they are doing at that level, that you are a sympathizer, you are a collaborator, and now the law in Nigeria, the government has categorized you as a terrorist. So you should expect. So it's all about maybe semantics and using language, and any person out there should understand it clearly, particularly the armed forces, the military. So what are you bringing terrorists to me to do with? A killer.
Right. Okay, very briefly. United States the other day delivered military equipment supplies to Nigeria. In the context of all that's gone on within the last 1 to 2 months, how do you interpret that supply that was delivered to us?
Yes, it's okay. Of course, we have been made to agree and believe, and I believe that there's cooperation between Nigeria and the United States. All are all inclusive. If they are cooperating, is the only cooperation on the table? The answer is no. Equipment that we don't have, that we lack, they should give us. And I believe that is what is happening. And it's a right step in the direction that we are supposed to take now.
Always thought-provoking to have you here live, join us on Daybreak. Thank you very much, Major General John Enenche, the pioneer spokesperson of the media director of the Nigerian military, and also a former military officer of Nigeria. It's been so nice having you on the Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Happy Armed Forces Remembrance Day to you and your other colleagues, living or dead. And that's all we have time for here on Daybreak. I'm Benga Ashuri. It's goodbye from me.
And I'm Constance Ikoku. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Yolanda Robert. Please do keep it here on Arise News. The morning show is next. Goodbye.